Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that play them. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
I'm Will.
And today we have a fun show for you. We are going to be talking about Beast Morphers and its finale. We're going to be getting into all the things, honey. We're going to talk about it, okay? We are going to talk about it in full, honey. But before we do that, we will definitely talk about some of the things that has been happening in the Ranger community as far as the actors and what they're doing. We're going to be talking about Nico's brand new movie in Ranger Things, and also Nico Greetham, who played Calvin in Ninja Steel, the Yellow Ranger. And also we'll be talking about Andrew Gray's little piece of commercial, his little Sony commercial. So we're going to dive into that with Ranger Things. But what we also going to do is we're going to talk about Beast Morphers. So go ahead and let's get into it, Miss Lena. What we got?
Exactly what you said. However, I just want to say, last night, I sat my rear end down on my big screen TV and decided to give this musical a shot. I hate musical. I truly do. But now,
Really?
Oh yeah, I do. I watch the entire, I think it was like 2 hours of the prom. Young girl wants to go to prom, can't go to prom because Indiana don't approve. So she petitioned to get prom to happen still for everyone, for all to come. And the only reason why the school board agreed to do this was because of these Broadway celebrities that made an appearance at the I guess the PTA meeting or whatever it is that they got going on. I don't even know, y'all. Like, I don't do this. We don't do this at my schools, at least not when I went to school. So they decide, yes, they're gonna throw a prom, and prom proso start to happen, and that's when Nico's character entered, where he sung his prom proso to his girlfriend Kaylee. It was super cute, and it starts there. He doesn't really make like a grand. He's not like a main character, but he's definitely a character that does help tell the story, a supporting character. So it was really good. So overall, I do recommend it. It was a really good movie. And by the end of it, they had me crying. I mean, I still can't sing half to their songs because they're all over the place. Still don't like musical, but it's a really good movie. Definitely check it out, guys. It is on Netflix. It's available both in Canada and US. Currently, according to Nico's post, it is currently number 2 in the States. So I don't know. I guess help get to number 1. I'm not sure where it is in Canada, what number is that, but I'm pretty sure it won't be far since it is a new thing that's come out and we're all still in more or less self-isolation. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be watching it. Moving on, Andrew Gray actually landed a brand new commercial for Sony's noise-canceling headphones. I mean, who doesn't like noise canceling headphones just to right just to like block out the world, be in your own zone, doing your thing. So the commercial is actually super cute. Check it out we actually do have it on our page, so definitely check it out. It looks wireless, so it's Bluetooth. It does all the great things. It looks comfortable. I don't know what colors they have available, but I'm sure they have tons of other options that you might like. But bottom line is, he's in the commercial. That was really cool. So, and it's Sony, so why not, right? And that's it for me. That's all the Ranger things that have happened. Oh, and then the other thing I want to mention is, if you guys don't follow us on social media, do, because I'm doing 25 Days of Christmas, where I am doing a different movie that is Christmas related on each Ranger or Ranger actresses. Or, well, not Rangers themselves, but like anyone else in the Power Ranger world, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely check that out. And let me know if you guys seen any of these movies. I've seen some, but not all. I'm making my own list of actually starring half of these movies. Yeah. And comment in our Insta if you've seen them, if you like it, if not. And let us know what you were surprised about. Were you surprised? I seen someone seeing that they didn't even know that Amy Jo had a Christmas movie. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot she had a Christmas movie. I knew about it, but then I forgot she had a Christmas movie because I find a lot of her films outside of what she used to do when she was younger are very typical Hallmark kind of style. So I don't
Oh,
really get
Lifetime.
yeah, the Lifetime stuff. There you go. So I don't really get into it, but I do personally like Amy Jo Johnson stuff that she has directed and written. Those are really good. But overall, yeah. So follow us on social to even see the daily movies. I'm surprised at some of these movies that I found though. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't realize that Ali Kane even had two Lifetime / Hallmark movies under her belt. Like who would have thought?
Mm.
I can't picture her as a Hallmark Lifetime kind of girl. Erin Cahill, yes, but not her. I don't know. Not that I'm saying like she can't be, but I just didn't picture it. But yeah, let me know which one you guys were surprised about, and if you guys have seen any. And that's all.
True. Yeah, because I mean, like Erin Cahill is literally the Hallmark queen, honey, when it comes to Christmas. She is the Mariah Carey of Christmas. Okay. Like we all know with Mariah, you always hear, I don't want a lot for Christmas every year. November 1st. No, not November 1st. Pretty much November 1st.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it seems like
Like
it. Yeah.
you pretty much you already know what time it is. And then literally like Erin Cahill, she is the same way. We know
I
she
tried
is the Christmas
so
movie
hard.
queen.
I tried so hard this year to not have her as often. I have her already only because it was a brand new movie that she did, but I'm trying really hard not to have her all over our page. Not that she's not worthy. She is very worthy. It's just that I want to be a little more diverse when it comes to our movie selections, But
Right.
maybe towards the end, we'll have a lot more Anna Cahill when I run out of ideas, or I'm just too lazy to look up new ones.
Wow. No,
Another.
it's just funny though. It's funny how like she just pops up every year. It's just like, ha!
Every
Love
year.
it.
She has a new movie
Love it.
every year. I don't know how she does it every year. Like this year, she came up with a whole new Thanksgiving movie, and then she's doing like a whole new Christmas movie. I'm just like, girl, you're gonna be covering all the seasons soon.
I love it. I love it. I mean, shoot, she already done horror movies too.
Right?
So she got
Right.
Halloween.
Yeah.
She got Thanksgiving. She got Christmas. Child. She might even end up in a damn Easter movie. Shit.
Or even a Valentine's Day movie. I would not.
Child, wouldn't be surprised.
I would not be
No.
surprised. So I'm trying
Child, if I see Erin Cahill pop up in a movie about Jesus as Mary Magdalene or I promise you, I'm be like, hey, I love it. But anywho, let's go ahead and mosey on down to this Beast Morphers, Henny.
Yes.
Now,
Can't believe it's already been 2 years.
Gosh.
Like what the
It really
fuck?
has.
That's
It
crazy.
really has. Like, in a sense, Beast Morphers is kind of like, when I think about Beast Morphers, honestly, and I'm not trying to get sappy, I'm really not. But when I think about Beast Morphers, yo, Beast Morphers is basically kind of like our conception in a sense, because we basically started our podcast around the time that Beast Morphers really actually came out.
Oh shit, we did. I remember.
Like we literally did.
Oh my god.
So Beast Morphers was our very first season where in full, because I mean basically we started around like the end of Ninja Steel. Like basically Ninja Steel was pretty much almost wrapped. Like the season was almost done by the time we actually started up Tribunal of the Grid. And then literally like Beast Morphers was our first full season of like,
my god.
this is our thing. So, I almost kind of feel genuinely, I feel like Beast Morphers is like literally our season of conception in a sense.
Oh my god.
And it hit different. Like I seen the finale like 5 months ago, so it was nothing. Like I was one of those people who traveled over to Australia and watched it early. I was one of them, but
travel, guys. Don't think that. Travel.
But at the same time, however, it when it premiered yesterday, because we are recording the day after the finale. When it hit yesterday, it hit different because it was like it's officially over. Like officially. Like this is it. And high key, I kind of got in my feelings a little bit because I was like, wow, this is literally like the first full season that our podcast has been running. So I felt really connected to the season. Not only that, it was a really good season. It was a really good run. And the finale itself, I have to be honest, it was probably one of the most intense finales we've had since the show came back, honestly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Not even Legacy War came this close to the intensity.
No. Oh, God, no.
And that was supposed to be a Legacy War. Right. Like, what the fudge, guys? I'm sorry. I'm not over this, okay? I'm not over the fact that you brought back all those Rangers for what?
Yeah.
For what?
Listen.
I'd say that this was the best finale since the season 1 Dino Charge finale. So that's over 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say. Well, listen, if we were gonna be ranking finales, I would definitely put Beast Morphers #1 for sure. As far as like of the most recent season since like Neo Saban started, I would put Beast Morphers definitely as #1.
Yeah, I would.
But like, I mean, it was really, really good, and to say it's the season that is ending the Neo Saban era and also jump-starting the Hasbro era, because it premiered around the time of the actual fusion. So we still had Neo Saban people working. You know what I'm saying? We still had those people still working in the hands of Beast Morphers while also preparing Hasbro's full takeover. So that's why at the very beginning, we saw on the actual, logo, Saban's Power Rangers Beast Morphers. And then now all of a sudden we see just Power Rangers Beast Morphers because now it's fully transitioned over to Hasbro. So like, it's one of those things of like, both had their hands in it. And it was kind of like almost that formal passing of the torch to being like, one era is done. Now we're moving on to a new one. And it was a beautiful love letter, I think, to the fans as far as like the show as a whole. They added so many elements, and granted, I wish they could have done a little more. They could have done a little more.
A lot more.
We're not going to go there, but they could have done, like you said, a lot more. But at the same time, with what they did, which was handled a lot better than what we got, I'm genuinely impressed. I'm genuinely impressed. Overall thoughts, what did you think of the actual finale itself?
I truly loved it. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know, maybe. And you know what? Now that you brought up the whole alignment with us and Beast Morpher, maybe that's why I've been so emotional. But I started crying at the very beginning of the fucking episode. Like,
oh my God.
Like, what the fuck? I see Steel die. I'm like, no! What is this? And of course, once again, Ventus, whatever his name is, E-Box, Ventus, whatever.
You might as well call him Vengeance.
Right? He once again destroyed Rangers in his path. I think he's probably one of the strongest villains I've ever seen. Him actually killing Rangers. And I remember the other day, and this really hit me too, because the other day, our favorite person on our page, the Violet Ranger, she posted a clip of Gemma and Jem dying. And that same shit happened. And I'm like,
no! Right.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? And
that's the vibes I got from that scene. Yeah,
I definitely started bawling, and I thought of Jem and Gemma, and I'm like, well, obviously I know they're gonna come back now because that's what happened with Jem and Gemma. But I remember thinking, Like, what the fuck? Are you serious right now? Like, he's the only villain that's ever actually killed Rangers. What the heck? I mean, obviously, we're not
Well,
talking like,
recently.
yeah, right. That's what I mean. Like, well, I guess the most recent in the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 10 years? Yeah, it's been a long time. But yeah, the
Yeah.
last
Oh,
decade, right?
well over.
So I'm shook, and like that definitely gave me that vibe. And I love how Steele was so brave. He was just like, I gotta do this, and he didn't hesitate. He just like Gem and Gemma definitely gave the same vibe with that in regards to how he did it and how it was just so good. Like I personally loved it. The only thing I didn't like was how rushed everything was. I felt
Mhm.
that it could have been stretched out a little bit more, maybe like a two-parter. Like they haven't done those in forever, right? So maybe like a two-parter, and maybe have them like, be more distressed, like how RPM was very like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next, right? But I felt the way they came to a conclusion and wrapped everything up was way too quick, as they always do. And I hate the cameo that they made with Truman. Is it Truman?
Yeah,
Give
Yeah.
Mason
us a
Truman.
fucking
Mason F. and Truman.
update. Give us a fucking update. Don't have the man come in, waltz in, and have all of us screaming and have our panties fall off because we can't believe there's another cameo, but then no update. You kidding me? Are you kidding?
Yeah. They could have like thrown in a line with him saying, "Oh, I got to get back to my grandkids," so we knew that like Scott has kids now or something. But we ain't getting nothing.
Nothing. Nothing.
I had fun for sure. Kind of. I guess I'm echoing Lena's thoughts. Like um the last I guess two episodes were some of the best episodes of this whole series, Beast Morpher series.
Mhm.
And it was a great lead up to this finale because I felt like they kept like the pacing and the tone of I guess the threat of what Evox slash Venjix was doing. They really did make it seem like it was like an urgent thing to take care of. It actually felt like a big deal compared to some of the other stuff we've seen throughout the season. And then like they started to really build up on like finality with where we were in the season, like us finally saying goodbye to Robo Roxy, and then us finally saying goodbye to Robo Blaze, and then the Zord hangar being destroyed in the big Megazord battle. That was real quick. That was really cool because I'm desensitized on Megazord battles because there's always so many unnecessary ones. So that was a really cool one to have one inside of the Zord hangar with Venjix Evox and that thing getting destroyed basically. They really made you feel. Ooh, well, for me, the Steel moment, unfortunately, I had seen it on Twitter maybe the day before that he turned into a real boy. And I wish that I didn't see that because it would have made the moment of Steel's Jim and Gemma moment slash Mr. Stark, I'm not feeling well moment. That would have
I
made
agree. That's yes, I agree. I seen that,
I
and
hate you.
I'm
yeah,
I
like,
that
hate you
would
so
have
much.
I agree with that.
that would have made me that would have like got me if I didn't know that he was gonna come back at the end. Another scene that reminded me of was it's going to be two Buffyverse references today. Um, the episode of Angel where Doyle died, and he had to come in contact with this machine that was going to wipe out like a storage facility filled with demons, the good demons, and he had to try to protect them. So he had to disconnect the machine to do it, and he died doing it. So for Steel to step into the, I guess it was like was it like the Morph X? Like it was like a gate to the morphing grid. It was the same one that Jason stepped out of.
Yeah.
So Ventrix was inside of that, and he had to step into that to stop him and stab him with the special bow that Dr. K made. And like in doing that, like he could already feel like it was way too much energy going through him, and he knew that it was going to take him out, but he still had to do it. So that gave me vibes of that Angel episode and that sacrifice. That was a real big dramatic moment. I really enjoyed that. And the moment where Zoe's mom came into Grid Battle Force begging Commander Shaw, can I take Zoe with me? I know she works here, but I want to take my baby out of here and evacuate the city. And Shaw told her, I'm sorry, but Zoe's a very important part of Grid Battle Force. She can't leave. And then like she's so confused and like distraught. And then
Laundry girl. Like, what does she need to do? Clean their laundry while they're
right.
She's like, this girl clean laundry. Why the hell she got to be here?
Right. And then Zoe had a big moment, and she let her mom know that she was the Yellow Ranger. And
that was such a cool moment.
Yeah,
I cried there too.
it was such a heartfelt moment. And
I will have to say though, just do a positive for a second. I find that like with the direction that they give the parents, I feel like it's not as emotional as it should be.
Absolutely.
I can understand that.
You know, like I know it's not the acting themselves. I definitely know it's the direction, right? But I just felt like even with the Shaw commander, like even with her interaction with her son, I feel like there should be moments where it should be much more emotional, but it's not. And it almost looks like they just stoned or like, yeah, okay, that's great. My girls are right here. I understand now. She's not doing your laundry while y'all trying to save the world. I get it.
Her telling, I think it was the part where they hugged and she told her how proud she was of her, that got me. And that, even though this scene was different, it kind of reminded me of a scene from the third season finale of Buffy, when graduation day, where
one of the best episodes ever.
Yes, where Buffy got her mom to evacuate Sunnydale because the mayor
She
was
was
going
about
to
to get
turn into
real.
the giant snake and all that. The moment where she got to just talk to her mom and just tell her she wished that she could have been a normal kid for her, and that she didn't have to worry about her. But like her mom let her know like she's proud of her for everything that she's doing, and she did agree to leave the city to get to safety. But that, it kind of somewhat reminded me of that, I guess, maybe like the tone of it. But I really like that Zoe had a moment like that, because Zoe was really, she was somebody I was rooting for all season, and I feel like they really did a disservice to her, because she brought so much energy to that role, and she really made a really likable character in her portrayal, but they just didn't give her enough to work with. But this was a really nice moment for her.
First of all, give Jacqueline her things. Like I when I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna save this. We gonna get to this. Put a pin in that. But yes, you know what? It's funny. Some of the things that you brought up actually reminded me of several things. For example, that whole bit with Steel. Now, when I was watching that scene, that scene itself, I thoroughly enjoyed. And it was probably one of the highlights for me for the entire episode. It was literally the highlight for me because it brought it literally just encompassed so many scenes, so many epic scenes from Power Rangers that we've probably forgotten about, or like it literally you can tell they did some research when they created and crafted this scene. They did some research because can we talk about the callbacks that they made during that scene? It was very specific because when Benjix, aka Evox, went into that grid and was standing inside, that was literally what Devin did in the team up episode. That was literally the same thing he did. So I love the fact that they called back to that to really, call attention to this one said thing. Like that was really cool that they actually did not throw that away. They didn't throw that moment away. They didn't forget it. I really enjoyed that, and that they just keep making use of certain things. But the thing that really got me, and you and Lena, I believe you mentioned it, was the Jim and Gemma with how that reacted, but also too, that scene gave me major Kendricks vibes when Kendricks destroyed the Savage Saver.
Oh, right.
That scene,
that too.
That scene gave me major Kendricks vibes. And my first time seeing it, I literally was in tears because it brought me back to that moment of watching that scene for the first time as a kid, watching Kendricks die. And I remember sitting there crying because I'm like, she's going to come back. She's just going to come back. And literally, she did not. Nope. Until the season finale.
Very end.
Yeah, like she didn't come back to the very end. Like literally, Astronomer comes and takes her place. So it's like, no, this girl is gone. Like there is no, she's not coming back. Like she's not going to come back.
Yo,
and that gagged me.
Do you think? Pause for a second. Do you think that was Power Rangers' way of teaching us about death?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, like Power Rangers, honestly, and the thing is, they could have Magna Defended her, honestly. They really could have. Because Magna Defender died and he did not come back. Like straight up. Like, I mean, he literally sacrificed himself and was like, yeah, we good. He's not coming back. So, they could have Magna Defended her too. But they decided, since she's a human character,
Right, that's what I was thinking.
They'll probably bring her back. But, I mean, shoot. I like that scene literally put that scene in my head. Like the Steel scene put the Kendrick scene in my head. And I was just like, it overwhelmed me. I was so proud of that scene. Like I was like, oh, this is what I need. Thank you, Power Rangers. This is what we need.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I did not like was, and it wasn't just them bringing Steel back and making him into a boy like Pinocchio. I didn't have a problem with that. It was the voice for me.
Yeah! I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna be like, yo, what I don't get is why is his voice still like that? I made sense that he was like that when he was a robot, but he ain't no longer a robot. Why
he ain't a robot no more?
A human voice. Why
like that voice? Normal?
Yeah, that was weird. However, I understood what they were trying to do. I think it was because that was Steel. Like that was the Steel that we knew all this time. And then maybe they felt like if they would have given him that actual actor's voice, it would have been kind of like a racing Steel. That's what I was thinking.
No, not at all. I like, because my thing is, I'm sorry, no tea, no shade, but this is a whole like 14, 15, 16-year-old looking boy. Why does he sound like a damn 30-year-old who smokes? That doesn't make sense.
Well, not even that. He sounded almost, and he also sounded a little robotic, a little, because that's what Steel sounded like when he was an actual robot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why does he sound like a 30-year-old man who smokes? This doesn't make sense to me.
And then another thing, another 90s reference. That makes me think of Casper, when Casper turned into a human for that one part. Like, they literally used the same voice, which made sense because Casper was young. But like in this sense, I don't know. It's just like, I like that voice because that's still.
No.
It would have been weird if he sounded
No.
like a little kid.
No. Now, if the actor that they chose looked like he was around Devon and the rest of their age, and the rest of them age, then yeah, it would make sense.
Isn't the suit actor like I believe the suit actor is young and he has blonde hair.
Well, he
looks like he's around their age.
Why didn't they just use him?
Thank you. That is literally what I'm saying.
That's what I expected, but
I know why they didn't use him. The reason why because if you do actually like follow this guy in real life, he's not a boy. He's nowhere close to a boy. This man is a full.
Neither was Victor.
Victor sure wasn't no teenager.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to get at is that I guess what they're trying to do is have someone make it look like he's related to what's his face, right? So this guy, like I mentioned, if you follow him, he's a full-on grown man who looks nothing like Abraham.
A grown white man, yeah.
and he's tall. He's a really tall guy too. So I think my guess is that they wanted him to look younger, and obviously younger than Abraham, because Abraham created him. And also Abraham gave him half of, well, not Abraham, what's his name? Nate gave him half of his DNA. So he wanted someone to look similar.
Yeah.
Right?
Even then, I understand that, and I sorry to cut you off. Like, I understand that and I get it, but even then, he still doesn't have to be younger than him, though.
Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't. I'm just trying to
maybe
counter.
They thought maybe they were thinking that was the same age. I mean, he did look really young, but
that
Nate's
boy
really young.
He looked very young. He looked very, very young. But like,
he looks like a child.
He does. Like, sorry, no, my counter was more to Will using the actor who dressed up as Steel. That's the reason why I'm glad they didn't do that, because this man is grown.
Well, I mean, even then, like, even if they decided that they didn't want to use him, my whole thing was, and I get that, I totally do. Like, I understand that, but my thing is, okay, if that's the case, then fine. You don't want to use him, cool, but at least get an actor that actually looks like his voice would sound like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, make him look a little bit older than this prepubescent child who just happened to be taller than Abraham. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's not the T. Like, I would not have casted him. Like, he looks way too young. And then for the simple fact that he's supposed to be an action star, I'm like, in what world? I understand this is a fantastic world where we have monsters and all of that, but there's no way in the world that's the case.
You know what the vibe I just thought of? Like, I think they were trying to go for Twilight. Do you remember when Jacob had his like werewolf family come out, and he had a younger guy that came out? What's his name? I know his real name is Boo Boo Stewart, but I can't remember what his character name. But he looked like the younger version of Jacob in Twilight. Maybe that's what they're trying to go for.
Child, listen, I don't know
about him being the action star. Another thing that was kind of, to go with what you're saying, Brandon, that was kind of weird. The fact that Blaze was his stunt double.
Right?
Blaze is his stunt double. However, he's doing all his own stunts. And not only that, Blaze looks nothing like you.
Nothing.
Yeah, I guess the wig was supposed to make it make sense.
Oh, so just like how we got Asian people dubbing for black people and then making them darker. I can't
believe they're still doing that. I saw, for people that don't know, when I was watching I
Beast
believe
Morphers?
it was in the finale. If not the finale, maybe the a few episodes before. I was watching it, catching up on everything, and I saw Devin in an unmoored fight, and there was a shot of him from behind where it clearly was not Devin. It was an Asian person with a wig and darker skin. So like I had taken a video and sent it in our group chat because I was shocked that they're still doing that. That's interesting. Like there aren't any black stunt people in New Zealand or
Oh, remember they
American
work
ones
with the
that you can
Japanese team.
carry.
Remember that? They only work
What was
with the
that?
Japanese team.
Still at
Yeah.
this point, still.
Yeah. Don't you remember in I think it was Jackie or Kobe or one of them highlights. If you watch throughout their entire highlight for their 2 years, there was an entire video where they only it was all the stunt team and they're all Japanese, and they were partying with them. They're hanging out with them. They were like, Jackie was doing like cheers with them. So if you watch that whole highlight, you would have seen yes, they still use the Japanese stunt team. I do believe, according to a few of our interviews, I do believe they use the same team. They use the same studio with the same group of people, more or
I
less.
don't I don't think that it's Alpha Stunts, but I do believe it's probably a brand new group because Alpha Stunts doesn't. I don't think Alpha Stunts works with Power Rangers anymore.
Oh,
Right, they haven't in years, right?
Yeah, they
oh,
Alpha Stunts hasn't done it, but I do know for a fact that this stunt team that works on Power Rangers is indeed all Japanese for sure.
yeah,
Because actually, if I'm not mistaken, Hunter Deno actually posted. She was posting a story celebrating her stunt double, and
yes.
her stunt double is
Oh,
definitely Japanese, and
yeah.
I think she was the stunt double for Jackie as well.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what it is. And and you're right. It could be a brand it's definitely a brand new team, but I feel like it's the same team that's been working for the past few seasons
Yeah,
with the newer kids, not the I'm not talking about like OG stuff though. No, no. I'm not going like I'm talking like more of the recent stuff because I notice it's the same people that makes appearances when they do like a memory link kind of thing. So yeah. So yes, to answer your question, Will, they do use all Japanese stunts still.
Hmm.
now when it comes to like specific things like for example I want to say like Chase's double when he was doing the skateboarding and all of that was actually a white guy, but
Well,
I
how
mean
they
for
gonna
other
get it?
things but for other people yeah, it's a dub.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess for like specialized things like skateboarding, bike riding, things like that, they want to go ahead and actually get New Zealanders who are actually professionals in those things. But when
Yeah.
it comes down to the actual martial arts and stuff, they're sticking with the martial arts stunt, the Japanese martial arts stunt team. Yeah, but yeah, we're still doing that. We're
Yeah.
still doing blackface, which
I mean,
is
but
annoying. But
they're
hey,
not parading about it. They're doing it because it's part of their job. They're not dressing up as a Halloween costume. So I
Or as a caricature.
yes. So they're not doing it because it's something that they think is fun to do in their defense.
oh no, I'm not saying that
Mhm.
it's like oh my god, like whatever. No, I'm saying like they're still doing it as a
Oh
way
no,
of
no, no,
doing
no.
things.
I'm not saying you,
And
but I'm saying like for anyone listening, like,
no,
just in
yeah,
case
obviously.
people are getting the wrong, vibe that we are thinking is wrong. We're not.
No, like yeah, exactly. Like it's I my only gist is that like it's 2020, it's 2020. Like I mean, y'all ain't got. I mean, there's plenty of black people who do stunts, and I'm pretty sure they exist in New Zealand. Like
Mhm.
call one of them
Oh,
up and be like, hey, can you double for this person? You know what I'm saying?
oh, for
Like,
sure.
Mhm.
yeah, come
Oh,
on now, let's do this. But yeah, and that's another
Oh.
reason why I think also too they keep hiring more lighter skinned people so that they don't have to so that they don't have
That's
to do the
funny.
blackface. I'm sorry because listen, if you really want to be honest, if we really want to be honest, let's take a trip back down memory lane because since we brought back Power Rangers in Miss 20 was it 2010 2011 when we got the show back. Yeah, when Samurai premiered, starting from then on out, yeah, they got black people, but all them black people passed that paper bag test. All of them was light skinned. Every last one of them. Like, Devon was the first dark-skinned black guy we had on the show in a very long time. So it's like, yeah, like they were determined. We're gonna cast all these light-skinned people just so that we can slap wigs on them and
I'm definitely
call it a day.
remembering seeing Kevin from Samurai's stunt person. And
okay,
it was
and
weird.
You see what they did.
Yeah, it was weird because he didn't, unfortunately, I guess they ain't got black barbers in New Zealand. So he was his hair was growing, and then the stunt person had a shaved head. So that didn't look so great when you're looking up close. But
looks terrible.
Yeah, I wanted to mention another thing. It was cool. It was a cool moment when the Rangers were fighting. Oh my God, Venjix! I think right after Still's sacrifice, and because Venjix had gotten into all of the weaponry and everything, they couldn't really use their weapons against him. So they used legendary weapons against him, I thought that was really cool. I wish that they used weapons that I really recognized though, because I didn't recognize all of them.
Really? I thought that the choice of weapons that they picked were perfect, honestly. Even though, well, let me take that back. Because some of those weapons that they used were actual especially the one that Devin used.
Who like
that weapon is exclusively from Ninja Steel, where they used it in the cockpit. Like, they never actually used that weapon in a fight. So I was like, oh, it can work outside the actual Megazord? That was my question. It was like, oh, like, I didn't know that they could actually use that weapon outside of the actual Megazord. So, because it was basically a weapon that was interfaced, kind of like how with his Cheetah Blaster, which how every time he does like that slash in his Megazord, he'll call on that Cheetah Blaster and shoot, just so that the Megazord can do a slash, which makes absolutely no sense. Like that.
Right. Wow.
Like, it was that. Like, it did the same exact thing. It served the same purpose. And it's like, well, no tea, no shade, but we didn't know this thing even worked outside the Megazord. So them bringing that up was just kind of like, y'all could have used a different weapon for Devin. But the rest of them, I was like, they had this the Dino the sword from Dino Thunder, Dino Charge, the little axe thing, not axe, the little dagger thing that the RPM Gold and Silver used. Yeah. The weapon, the thermal blaster from Lightspeed Rescue.
Lightspeed, and I was just watching some Lightspeed episodes too.
Yeah, like, I mean, all their weapons were pretty much recognizable except for the Ninja Steel one. I thought
that one confused me. Yeah, I didn't know what the hell that was.
Yeah, I was like, why would you use this? Like, that's weird. But
I mean, they paid to have it made, custom made for Power Rangers. So I guess
you damn right. They was like, we're gonna use this weapon. We gonna use this. Shoot. As much as they used they used whatchamacallit from Dino Charge, Sledge from Dino Charge. Oh, they were like, oh, we're gonna get all our money's worth, and we're gonna get all our money's worth with this weapon. So hallelujah. But yeah, like, I really do think that they did try to utilize as many things as possible in this episode, and just in general with the whole series as a whole, which is what I actually want to kind of get into as far as our discussion.
The very end, Devin became the commander.
No, that's no. I know. I'm gonna get into that. But
Okay. Good. Sorry.
When it comes to the whole series as a whole and the trajectory of all their characters and and all of that. When it comes to, I really, and it's funny that you brought that up because that's literally what I was going to bring up next. The characters as a whole, as far as like their growth, and by the time we get to the very end of the series, some of them I was like, yes, I can see this happening for you. Like with Nate and Zoe, them doing the whole natural energy and all of that, not using the morphing grid anymore and all of that. I could see that happening because Zoe was talking about doing natural energy forever. Mm-hmm. So, and her using, doing other energies outside of using, what we're using now and all this stuff, trying to be more eco-friendly. Knew that was going to happen. And of course, Nate was going to jump on because he's like, that's my girl. So obviously, I'm going to help my girl. You know what I'm saying? So obviously he was going to be a part. So I kind of knew that was going to probably happen. Ravi's character was nothing but his mama and his girlfriend. So obviously that was obvious. Like I was like, yeah, we already know.
That tracks.
Like, I mean, he really didn't have nothing to do. It was just like all he had was Roxy and his mama. So it was like, yeah, we know that's going to happen for you. But the gag was, the one that got me was Devin. I did not like that. And personally, like, and it's nothing against Rory or anybody involved in the scene or whatever. Nothing against any of them. And to be truthfully honest, I would have loved it if this happened years down the line. Mm-hmm. If this was something that happened 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, hell, maybe 5 years later. Like, if this happened further down the line, then yes, I would be like, you know what? I can see that. Yes, I can see you being the head of Grid Battle Force. But the fact that this mug was the head of the Grid Battle Force a year later was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I'm sorry.
They could have planted seeds. Like maybe he could have developed a closer relationship with based on respect with Commander Shaw. And like he could have looked at what she was doing and then been real fascinated. At least that would have kind of made it make a little bit more sense.
That's what I'm saying, because like, and that's why I said they kind of failed in storytelling at that point. If you're going to try to make him be something like that, then we should have had him already kind of looking into, I want to actually start taking leadership seriously. Mm-hmm. Like, I actually want to, like, my goal is to actually be over Grid Battle Force. I think I found my calling. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they would have planted that kind of seed, hell, even like midway through season 2, like if they would have planted that seed, like that, the ending would have made so much more sense. But because it was something that was just like, oh, we're just gonna throw this in here, it's like, you're throwing stuff on the wall, and hoping that it sticks. Like that's not cool. And like I just was like, yo, I don't see that. And just to go back into just his character in general, I mean, we're talking about somebody who started out being like, yo, I'm just, a gamer who, you know what I'm saying, my daddy hate, because, you know what I'm saying, I ain't doing nothing. And he constantly jumping up my ass because I'm just always sitting on the couch playing video games and I ain't got nothing going for my life. You know what I'm saying? To becoming the leader of the Power Rangers, and his daddy still dragging him, talking about something. You come home all beat up and scratched up, and I don't even know what you're doing, and you're still sitting on my couch, eating all my food, drinking all my stuff in the refrigerator, leaving just a drop the orange juice in the container, and shoot, I don't know what you're doing. You ain't got no job. So what's the tea? I mean, daddy was dragging him per season, honey. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? And we get to him finally, respecting him and all this stuff. But still, there's no inkling of, hey, I want to actually do this for a living. I want to actually be the lead of Grid Battle Force. I want to do this. Like, there was still nothing like that coming from this. So it was just like him becoming the commander just seemed so weird and so out of place. Like it just didn't seem like that would be something that he would do. It not to me. It didn't track well for me. I can see if that was something that he expressed, but it just didn't. Not for me. But I did enjoy, watching him wear the same high waters that Commander Shaw wore. I don't know if that's in just the in the uniform regulations that you got to wear high waters so that you can show off your boots. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's regulation, but hey, I thoroughly enjoyed that. But other than that, I was just like, could have had a V8. Do not like that storyline at all.
But I do appreciate that they gave us a whole 1 year later kind of a thing. Because I think most of the seasons that we've gotten so far, we haven't gone like a fast forward. This is where they're at kind of a detail.
Right.
Nice. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed that. And I'm glad they did that for us.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I don't take nothing from them actually giving us a year later thing where they're like, oh, we're actually, you actually getting to do a little something. My thing is, I just would have wished that they would have done it to a point that makes sense with this character.
No, for sure. No, I just meant like in general, like to add on to what we liked about the show and what was good.
No, that makes sense. Like, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I appreciate that they did that, but if you're gonna do it, make it make sense.
Yeah, for
sure. You
know
what I'm saying? Don't just throw stuff out there and be like, we think people might like this. Like, no, that's not cute. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the same with the whole Steel and him becoming a stunt star, whatever the heck he was doing. Did they ever specify? I thought you know what I pictured genuinely? I pictured that a year later he'd be sick and tired trying all the food and doing all the human things he could possibly do. That he's just like, no, I'm not leaving this house. I'm done. I'm over this. Like, I don't know, something like not negative, but like something where he's like, I'm comfortable where I am. I have done all I need to do as a human. I am good. Because remember, like his whole thing was he wanted to be human. He wanted to do the things that humans did. He wanted to feel what human felt. That would have been a cute ending for him.
Right. Like, I mean, and that was cute with Steel too. It's just like, Steel got to do all the things and, he was like, oh, I get to do this and I get to do that. But it's just like,
it would have been nice. Guy? Yeah, it would have been nice to know. Well, he was an action person, an action actor.
Right. But that's what I mean. Yeah.
So like
being an action actor.
Yeah, like it would have been nice if we got to see him and Nate watching some action movies to give a backstory behind it.
You know who I would have really enjoyed seeing, even though of course they wouldn't do this, but what would have really been a really cool callback?
Dax.
Yes. Having Dax be the director and be like, cut. And seeing the actor pop up and being like he's directing that
would have been cool, actually.
That would have been cool.
Actually, you know what? That would have been cool if Dax was the stunt for Steel, because you know how he was all about stunting, anyways.
True, but remember though, at the end of the series, he was like, "I want to direct."
Oh yeah,
and everybody was sitting there looking at him like, "Okay."
Well, I mean, that's what happened. That director didn't work out for him. He went back to stunning.
I mean, that's life. That's show business. But that would have been kind of cool. I like to see, the actor pop up in some sort of thing. I thought that would have been cool. But still, I'm like, but still being, a stunt action star, I was like, all right, I guess. But yeah, I mean, meh. Yeah. Once again, another thing that I was like, could have had a V8. Let's get into Mr. Ravi. Now, honey. Now, I know I talk a whole lot of foolishness about Ravi. I know I do. And some of it is so shady. But some of it, I'm sorry, is justified. Now, and this is nothing against Jazz at all. This is nothing against Jazz. But some of the stuff that was written for Ravi just, it they needed to give that baby stuff to do, because it was like he suffered from what I like to call external characterization. And to me, external characterization is the worst. It is the worst type of characterization to have, because when you have internal characterization, that makes stuff that externally happens to you that much more interesting, because you're dealing with it on the inside. And it's influencing what happens, that it influences what happens on the inside, what happens on the outside. So I like internal characterization more than I like external, because external is when everything is happening around you and you're reacting to it. That was pretty much him the second half. Like, Ravi's best stuff was in the first half of the season. All the stuff with Roxy and all of that, and even then, it still was mainly Roxy doing all the things. But we still didn't really get anything from him as far as like, how is this affecting him? What is their relationship? How did this affect their relationship? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sorry, if I was just fighting you for a whole year previously, and then I find out that your data clone, your cyber clone is alive again, but you here, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would feel some type of way. Like, I would literally be triggered in a sense. And there was no type of, how does this make him feel? There was nothing that.
How did that make well, I guess we'll talk about Roxy, but like I was gonna say, how did that make her feel too?
That's what I'm saying.
And you know what, when we talk about Blaze and Roxy, I'll bring this up. But something else for Blaze, or not, oh my god, Ravi, my bad. I would have loved to have seen more moments with him and his mom.
Hell, I would have liked to see more moments with Commander Shaw, period. But
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. Like we had a nice one earlier in the season with her finding out about him being a painter. And initially she gave him hell for it, but then she realized it was what made him happy. So she, gave him her blessing. So that was a nice thing. And then in this finale episode, we got to see them have just hanging out, having a moment. I would have loved to have seen more moments like that, where she wasn't the hard commander and was a mom. Like, maybe they could have done something where maybe Ravi could have been in trouble or hurt or injured or something like that, and then we saw the mom come out instead of the commander. It was really like, oh man, like if she got over emotional and she like just went crazy and like went on the attack, to avenge her son or something like that. That would have been kind of cool. I guess that would have kind of been maybe a bit out of character because she seems so disciplined. But like when it comes to your kids, I feel
I think that would have been in character. To be honest with you, I honestly think that would have been in character, because, to be truthfully honest, and this is the same thing. This is how I feel about Captain Mitchell. Captain Mitchell left the Aqua Base to save his kids several times. Like, he's left the Aqua Base to, do things outside, to either, help the Rangers or, help Dana or help, especially Ryan. I mean, hell, he had Ryan hanging off of a cliff trying to save his behind, and then almost sacrificed his own ass to save his son. Like, I mean, that's the kind of stuff I would have loved to have seen from Commander Shaw. Just the simple love for her own son. And I feel like that's what translated into Ravi's characters being so bland, is the fact that there was really no characterization that was going on to help create and help flourish his character, nor the characters around him that were connected to him. Like they underused every one of those characters, you know, and if you're going to try to do characterization and try to make these characters interesting, you gotta each one of them have to vibe, have to juice off of each other. Like you can't just give, like there was really no real like son mother situations going on other than the big one with him painting, and the other one where he, you know, risked the city by trying to defeat evil Roxy so that, you know, the real Roxy can stay alive. Like those were the real big moments that he actually had that actually, you know, bounced off of other characters. But other than that, that was all he had. Like those were only two big episodes. But bruh, you got a whole bunch of other stuff to do, and it's like, okay, but you ain't really got nothing, you know. So it just made any other episode that was about him seem mundane, almost moot in a sense. It almost just made him seem just completely just nonsensical, and just like, okay, well, we don't really need this. Oh, it's an episode about Robbie. Okay, anybody, you know, what's your Netflix account? Let's watch another movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, those episodes really didn't do anything for him. They really didn't, and they didn't add anything to his character. Like, for example, the episode with him getting mad at Roxy. You know, when, you know, they were supposed to have their little date.
Oh
like
my God,
that would have
was so
added.
dramatic.
It was overly dramatic, and the thing is, the gag of that episode is that it was unjustified. It was unjustified, and the way he blew up doesn't even make sense. Now I can understand if how it was set up and how the characters were already vibing off of each other, and we already had certain information to kind of like get us to that point. That would make sense. It would have made sense why they would have gotten to that point. But the thing is, hell, before that episode, we only seen the real Roxy like once, with the episode where they get captured again and they get their data, you know, their body scanned so that the upgraded Blazing Roxy can come out. That was the first time we seen her since that episode. So it's like we don't have any characterization on her. And then to bring her back, it's like, well, what about their relationship? Are they good? Like, are they happy? Like, are they still dating? Like, what's the tea? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they dropped so many things with him, and that's what made his character just so boring. So when they tried to bring stuff for him and tried to bring him back into the fold and be like, hey, remember this guy? No. Do you care about this guy? Not really. You're not giving us nothing to really, you know, hook our teeth into. Yeah, you gave us a whole bunch of great setup, but it's not paying off. And that was the biggest offender with Ravi, is that you and so many characters that were around him, is that there was so much stuff that you can sink your teeth into, and it's like, no payoff.
Definitely more stuff with like one of the two Ranger relationships going on, or a Ranger with a relationship going on. It would have been nice to have seen more stuff with him and Roxy. And then I said something about him and his mom. Him and I guess they kind of, if they would have done this, they would have done it in the first season. I would have liked to have seen a power struggle between him and Devin for like a la who was it? Jack and Sky in SPD. You didn't agree with this, but I still think that it would have been kind of interesting if because Ravi was the only of the original three that were chosen to be Rangers. He was the only one that was able to become a Ranger. then Devin and Zoe were like on the spot given powers. For him to feel like, oh, so why do you get to lead me when you're just starting out? I thought that it would have been cool if they would have done something with that, at least in the first season. They only literally did it, I think, in the second episode, and then they just squashed it. Oh,
here's
you're the
my
leader.
thing with that. Like, and this is why I feel like I'm glad they didn't do it. The reason why I feel like that I'm glad they didn't do it, and we talked about this a little bit, before we started recording, so you guys didn't hear that conversation. But like, I'm glad they didn't do it because Ravi didn't have leadership qualities anyway. Like, he was already the follower anyway when it came to Blaze and Roxy originally being on the team. He was literally just a regular member anyway. It was Blaze who was leading them. And even then, when Blaze was literally trying to kick Devon's ass in the Riptide gym, like, he just stood there and was like, yo, chill out. Yo, dude, stop. What are you doing? Leave him alone. Like, that's all he did. Like, he didn't do a single thing to try to stop the situation. So already right there, you can already kind of see that it was like, you really don't have leadership skills. Like, you're like, you don't have that, like, gusto of being like, yo, I'm gonna take charge of this situation. He doesn't have that fire. Granted, not saying that he's not a good ranger or that he was unqualified, but at the same time, could he have been qualified to be leader? Absolutely not. So I could see how, him thinking, oh yeah, I could do this. But to say that, he would be the one that would be like, you know what? I'm better than Devin. Like, that kind of thing. I don't see him being like that, because if that were the case, then what they should have done, which I'm glad they didn't do, was have him be like, well, since Blaze isn't the leader anymore, I'll do it. And then him going up to his mom, being all upset, like, why didn't I get the leader? I want to be the leader. Like, I would not have liked to see Ravi act like that. Like,
Wouldn't well, saying that, don't you think it would have been entertaining to see him realize, like, oh, maybe I'm not cut out for this after all?
I mean, he did learn that. He did kind of, in essence, learn it, but not just with,
right?
Yeah, like, he
wanted
learned
to
it
see
within
more.
episode
Damn
2.
it!
Well, I mean,
Oh my
listen,
god!
they squashed a whole bunch of stuff with his character very quickly. Like, I'm telling you, Robbie's character was literally resolved within the first season. Like, he really had nothing really to do in season 2.
Oh,
like, his character was literally resolved in season 2, by season 1. So it was just like, all right, you're just here. And they did a whole bunch of other random things with him that was just like, why are you doing this again? Like the episode where, what was that, Boxed In, when they had the whole Pan Global Games, and him being all excited to go to the Pan Global Games, like, oh man, I want to go. And then him sitting here flipping out on the rest of them because they had to call him back to fight. And he's like, well, you could have handled this without me. Like, why are you calling me? It's like, this is not you. This is not your character. Like, why are you flipping out like that? Like, your character is the type to be the main one to be like, yo, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to serve Great Battle Force. And yet you flipping out over Pan Global. Like, boy, bye. But but yeah, like, I definitely do feel like Robbie's character was definitely wasted for sure. But yeah, so next I would say is Zoe. Baby, I wanted so much for her.
Same.
I really do. I really wanted that character to be the best character of the show, and she had she had the setup.
Mhm.
Like, she literally had the setup to be probably one of the best Yellow Rangers we had in years. She really did. Like, she started from the very bottom. Laundry. Oh, laundry. Laundry girl. And that was her nickname for a minute. Laundry girl. Like, they wouldn't even calling the girl by her damn name. And literally, like, she clawed her way to being respected and to actually being like a major force in the team by the end of season 1. So I assumed that Zoe is gonna be, she's gonna be Miss Thing on season 2, honey. She's gonna be it. Child, season 2 roll around and they making her just all of a sudden flop around like a fish on land with no water. Like, girl making mistakes like it's nobody's business, almost getting herself killed, like just doing like twice actually. It's just like, what are you doing? And just the life of me, I just couldn't. It broke my heart to see them do her the way they did. Like, that was one of the worst character development situations I've ever seen in my life. Like, I've never seen nothing as bad as that. Like, that was terrible. The way they did her was just completely unjustly. Like, it was sad the way they did that poor baby. I mean, girl was making she was making mistakes like she was never even a ranger.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is my first time being a ranger, so let me just do this one dumb thing. Let me do this dumb thing. Let me do this dumb thing. Let me do this dumb thing. It's like, come on now. Come on.
Yeah, and it was bad that you have your only female ranger,
The only one.
being portrayed that way.
The only one.
Yeah, she had such a fire about her, and you could tell she was a go-getter and she wanted to learn. I think that to further explore that would have been really cool. And it seemed like they just stopped developing her throughout season 1, and then from there they in season 2 they just, like you said, they just had her making bad decision after bad decision, like she didn't just have the whole first season.
Right. Like, she had no experience whatsoever. That was the part that got me. It was just like, oh, so we just gonna act like Zoe she never had any experience of being a ranger, like, at all.
Like, if anything, they should have swapped between the 2 seasons. Like, they should have swapped it. Maybe she should have been like that in the first season, and then in the second season she just wouldn't be used at all.
Well, I mean, yeah, that would kind of suck. I mean, that's what they did for Robbie. That's what they did for him. Yeah. So, I mean, hell, do it for Zoe too. Like, I mean, it was terrible. And like, for me, they did the ultimate sin. And I understand this is a very misogynistic trope. This is the trope that I naturally just I hate, because for one, she's the only female of the group, but also this is just a terrible trope in general. Always letting the man define the woman's character. Mm-hmm. Her relationship with Nate was literally defining her character to me on season 2.
I get, yeah.
As soon as they made her Nate's girlfriend, as soon as that happened, and I was like, please, God, please do not make her, become the girl that is like, just there, just being the major support system for the boy and all of that. And that's literally what happened. Like, it's literally what happened. And it's just like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't as bad as how some seasons have been, like how they tried to make Kat for Tommy and Kira for Trent.
Trent.
You know, it wasn't that bad, but it was still kind of like they were still kind of there were a lot of wasted opportunities where, you know, it's like, yo, like you're starting to really try to push that whole narrative of like, hey, you know, she's only in it for Nate, you know, she's doing all the things for Nate, and that's defining her character, and that's what it was starting to feel like it was starting to become, but it didn't go all the way with it, which I appreciate. But still, that's just a danger of stepping in and creating women characters and having them be in relationships. Because I feel like a lot of times it's not done right. And in this instance, it almost went there, but it didn't. So I was kind of glad in a sense that it didn't go all the way there, but I could definitely smell it coming around the corner like, child, oh, we coming. Like I felt it. I felt it coming. I did. I felt it. For me, you know, Zoe as a whole just she had so many things that worked so well for her. And shouts out to Jackie. Baby, you did that. Like Jackie just like, and just like you said before we started the show, Jackie just like what she brought to the character and just her energy in general and the vibe that she gave in her presence really made that character stand out. She really did. And Homegirl was doing all her own stunts.
I was about to mention that. That was so cool. Didn't she make the choreography for some of the scenes?
Yes, she did.
That's
yes,
so
she did.
cool.
Like Homegirl, like she did her thing. And I'm like, yo, like I love it. Like we love to see that. We love to see, you know, women in action, you know, doing all the things. We love that. So I just wish that they just did not tear that character down the way they did. Like it was just like we're gonna make her just be completely just like just make her fumble around so badly. And you know, and it was just sad to watch at some point. Like it was just sad to watch. I feel like one of the worst episodes for me, and the one that I had the most problems with out of the entire season, was the episode where her brother came and she was trying to, you know, she accidentally melted his the
Oh my
bone that he found.
God, that annoyed the hell out of me.
First of all, can we talk about how that acid did not burn through the table, but it burned the damn bone? How that happened?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Like that was some bull. But then you want to turn around and you want to go up there knowing that you just seen old dude with a whole ass cast on his hand because he done messed himself up. And you know, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go do that too. And like
so something that I didn't get, because I just watched that one. Something I didn't get, and I thought that she was going to do, was I thought that she was just going to use her Zord to go up there.
It would have made more sense.
It would have made more sense. But then the boys ended up using her Zord to save her.
Exactly.
What?
They did things with common sense, which is something she did not do in season 2. She never used common sense. And I'm like, yo, how is this even possible? How like common sense would have said, hey, let me drive my Zord up there to go and get this thing. No, she didn't.
I guess they didn't explain this, but maybe it would have been like she wouldn't have been allowed to do it since it wasn't her official ranger business. But they could have at least explained that.
They could have explained that though. Like, I mean, that could have been something that they could have mentioned in the show. Like, I'm just gonna use my Zord, and then someone being like, "Well, no, you can't do that." And it's like, oh shoot. Well, let me actually, or she simply could have been like, you know what?
She could have morphed though.
Exactly. She could have done anything other than what she did. Like, and then old girl got shot. Like, literally, Roxy shot her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it didn't kill you? Like, what?
It's always a inconsistencies when it comes to what the Rangers in human form can take and what they can't.
Seriously, because I'm sorry. I literally watched the episode of Lightspeed Rescue like maybe about 2 nights ago. Not Lightspeed, Lost Galaxy. About 2 nights ago. And I was watching the episode where it was the episode after where Mike Leo was really all in his feelings and he was wanting to give the Quasar Saber back to Mike. Mm-hmm. And on that episode, the Rangers get captured in these little glass things, and the monster of the day had slashed his arm, and old dude was bleeding from his arm. I'm like, now see, that makes sense. Hey, this mess cut, and it like tore through your shirt, and now you have a cut on your arm, and you are bleeding. That makes sense. You know what? You got shot. There should have been, hey, maybe a hole in your shirt, or hey, maybe it's like a little singed area where you got shot, or something. Girl had no scratch whatsoever. This makes no sense to me. Okay? Mm-hmm. Like, we literally had seasons where literally the Rangers suits literally were torn and shattered, aka Turbo. Like, mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but you getting shot in plain clothes. This makes no sense. Mm-hmm. But whatever. It's Power Rangers. They still can't figure out whether or not these Rangers have secret identities or not. So you know what? Mm-hmm. Hey, I can live with it. I guess I can try to live with it. But yeah. I mean, Zoe just I just felt some type of way. Nate, speaking of Zoe, her relationship with Nate and just Nate in general. Baby.
I don't like the relationship.
I don't either.
It was so cute in the beginning.
I think it was cute.
I thought it was so cute in the beginning, but then when they supposedly made it official or whatever you want to call it, it got weird. It got like really, really weird fast. I didn't like that. I didn't like how like she was always there trying to support Nate, exactly what you were saying earlier. And I felt like at that point she really didn't have a storyline of her own, because like every time Nate was in trouble, she was like there to help him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't feel it anymore. Like, it was cute in the beginning, then it just got weird.
It was very poorly crafted, and just Nate in general as a character, like. This is gonna sound really bad, and I don't want it to sound like this, but Nate as a character. Nate as a character. No, I know what I want to say. No, I know what I want to say. It's just going to sound really bad. Nate as a character, and I have to keep thinking that he's young, because I'm looking at it from an adult frame of mind. And I mean, Abraham himself is like in his he's 19, 20, so like he's pretty much an adult. But the gag is with me in this character is that yes, I understand he's young. But when I tell you, just the way he reacts about things, I'm like, you act as if everything is the end of the world if it does not go your way. Yeah. Like, if it doesn't go your way, oh my God, the end of the world is happening and I am going to die. Like, he is extra as hell. And everybody around him is like, oh, okay, like, we can solve this. We can figure it out. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And he's like running around in circles like the place is on fire.
Yes, and his reaction, like his facial reactions, again, it could also be the direction of the director, but Nate's facial reaction is just very over Like, no, it's dramatic. It's so dramatic.
He always looks constipated.
That too.
Well,
He
I
looks-
was thinking about I was also thinking about like some of his surprised faces and some of his happy faces as well.
They look
Oh my
constipated too.
god. Oh my god. The look on his face when I think Ben and Betty put them in formal wear, and when he looked at Zoe in the dress like she was a piece of meat, that was hilarious.
That was actually cute.
Yeah.
That was cute. That was cute.
I think that was like probably the first, like that was like the only time I actually really enjoyed their relationship. Like, well, mind you, again, it was before they actually got together. You see, like everything before they got together was cute.
Right.
Like, it was cute, and you can tell
I
like
like how it is in a real relationship. I said it sounds like how things go in a real relationship.
well, I don't know how your relationships go, but my man better be looking at me like Nate looks at Zoe all the time. If he's
Hello,
not-
like you better look at me like I'm a piece of meat every day.
exactly. If you're looking at me like that, I don't know. I don't know.
want you.
Right? I know where the door is, and I hope you know where the door is.
Period.
So I don't know what kind of relationships you've been in, Will, but my man better be looking at me like that every single day.
Period. But oh my gosh, like I just don't understand it. Like y'all, like dead serious. Like there was so many things that I just was like, this is turning into the Nate show. And I would have wished. What you say?
For sure, he got. I feel like he got some of. He got the most character development, and
yeah, he did,
and the most screen time.
Yeah. Like he got all the things. Like if this show, if you were to say what character was the one that was like the standout and was used the most, like how you would say, for example, who was the standout of RPM? That would be Dylan. Who would be the standout of pretty much Mighty Morphin? That would be Tommy. Well, pretty much the whole Zordon era, sans space. Tommy. Like who would be the standout of a particular season? You would know who that is. Nate is definitely the standout of Beast Morphers. Like pretty much everything and most of all the storylines surrounded him. And it was just like, don't get me wrong, I don't have an issue with that. But also at the same time, it's like, but that means we got to watch Nate over and over and over. And honestly, like, I need a break. Like, I need a break from that character. And they just were not letting down. It's like, and then them bringing in certain characters and trying to explain him and all this stuff. I'm like you, Lena. I would have loved if Doc K was Nate's mama. That would have been a lot more interesting than his actual parents, because his actual parents were pieces of shit.
They left him.
They literally left him to go, on a safari trip to help save people that ain't got nothing to do with them, aka colonization. So I'm just like, I'm just not having it. Like I'm just no, like, I just couldn't. Like Nate's character just, I would have liked it. I would have liked if they would have kind of not made that character be basically carrying the entire show.
And the thing is, and had he, like, Dr. K been his parents, or at least like his mom, it would have made a lot more sense as to why he's in the lab so early, like, like at such a young age. And it would have made a lot of sense as to, like, with the different time, dimension differences, why he can't see his parents as often as he wants to. But not that they don't love him, it's just that different dimensions. I don't know. Maybe she met someone in this dimension, had to go back. I don't know, because something with time and aging, you know how that goes.
It could have explained why the RPM morphers were in that in
Hello.
Morphers
right
dimension. Yeah.
Like it would have, like there was so much, and it would have been such a great storyline, and it would have made so much more sense, and it would have been so cute, because then it would have, like, maybe we have a scene of him talking to his mom, like Dr. K, and he's secretive about it because he doesn't want people to know that, his mom is here, but she's not here because, dimensional difference, maybe she can't stay, maybe our body breaks down if she stays in a different dimension for too long. Who knows, right? I mean, obviously they can walk through different portals and get there in time, or maybe or maybe at once upon a time, Dr. K was needed at their grid battle force, and to create stuff, and she was there, and that's how she met his father. Let's say, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how that would explain where his father is at, but
You're on the roll or something, girl, and I like
He
this.
could be dead.
yeah,
He
right?
could be.
He could exactly.
be.
There you go. He could be dead. He could
Or
die, or
I was gonna say, or it could have all happened in the RPM dimension, where like something could have
Could
happened,
be
and she was
Vicky.
just or it could have been a situation of like, there all this stuff happened in the RPM dimension. She, to save her son, she pushed him, into another dimension, and was like, okay, you're gonna grow up here while the RPM dimension is good, trying to get better or whatever. And that's how he ended up, in this world, in this dimension, trying to do all the things over here. So
yeah.
I mean, they could have really done something with that. And that's why I'm just like, I really wish that it was Doc K that was his
Me
mom.
too.
I agree with you, Lena.
Me
I
too.
agree.
And imagine that moment when when he realized he was the one that bought back Venchex, and Zoe's like, I know who to call. Imagine that
His
moment.
mama.
It would have been such a strong moment. Oh my God.
Like, yeah, son, I did the same thing with the same villain. And you know what? We got through it. So, baby, you gonna get through it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would have been so cute.
That was so cute.
Oh, I love it. I love it, Lena. I love it.
I'm
No,
telling
for
you,
real.
we should write this. I'm
Like,
kidding.
we should write this. We should totally write this. But no, like, for real, like I just really wish that, like, there was just so many other, like, I just kind of wish with that character they could have done, like, they could have taken some of the stuff off of him, because like we said earlier, he just had a little bit too much time, and I feel like Steel could have gotten a little bit more time.
Speaking of Steel, his parents doesn't even know that he created Steel.
Yeah, he did. They didn't know initially.
They do.
They didn't know
know
initially.
initially.
They found out in the episode.
They found out, yeah.
His parents.
When did they find out?
That we met his parents.
Yeah, when he met his parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a whole episode. His parents are trash.
Okay, I have to go back and watch that. Okay.
Yeah, his parents are terrible, Your Honor. They are really terrible.
Oh, that sucks. Like, going back to like Dr. K real quick, can you imagine how proud she would have been if he's like, Mama, I made a whole brother for myself.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it would have been so freaking cute. Like, I'm telling you, that would have worked so well. And my thing is, like, his parents being as trash as they are, like, I'm just, and the way he was talking about them, like, he made them sound like, oh my God, they're the best people in the world. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're terrible. Like, they are terrible people. Like, bruh, no. But yeah, like, Abraham, I think he did a very good job as Nate.
Yeah, I agree.
He did a great job as the character. I'm just like, my thing is just with the way that they wrote the character, it was just like there was a lot that just didn't make sense. And I'm just like, I would have rather them not do, well, like, they could have taken some of that stuff away and replaced it with other things versus like, oh, we're going to give him all this stuff. And it's like, okay, but what about the others? Especially Steel, which is who I'm bringing up next. I love Steel, and I wish we would have gotten more with him. To be honest, I mean, they really kind of threw Steel in the back as a beast, the way they did the Beast Bots, which was a crime. Because the only reason why Steel was being used was because he was on the field. But other than that, it was just like Steel never got anything to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
musical.
but also too, that was still technically Nate.
Right.
You know, like, I mean, it was Nate's body, but I mean, it was Steel. But, you know, it's just like.
Or Steel. I loved him too.
He was so underused. And Steel was like one of the best characters in the show. Like, he was definitely one of the best characters.
This is like the second time they've done that with a robot character. Because I know a lot of people loved Robo Knight and Megaforce.
Okay,
Robo Knight was Megaforce.
Robo Knight was awesome, but the thing is, I don't think he was anywhere close to Robo Knight. I felt like Steel had a little bit more of a upgrade than Robo Knight did.
Well, probably that human DNA.
Right. But I personally, Robo Knight was basically Megaforce. So that was probably the best thing of Megaforce that they could have.
He really was. I mean, if we're gonna talk about Robo Knight being the best, I mean, you might as well say like Robo Knight was Megaforce. Like, I mean, even as much as Robo Knight was the best part, he still couldn't save that season. But
well, because the season there was nothing to salvage anymore.
Like, seriously.
They bought him way too late. I don't know. I really like Robo Knight though. He makes me laugh.
Oh, Robo Knight was great. But I'm just like, still, like, he and the Beast Bots were so underused. And
oh my God, that's something I definitely wanted to talk about. The Beast Bots.
Yes.
When they, I don't know if you guys remember that or if it's on one of the Lost episodes, but whenever they introduced the Beast Bots, I instantly thought like, ooh, this could get annoying very quickly. So I hope they don't overuse them. They ended up not using them at all. Oh my God, I fell in love with them.
Personally was the opposite of you. I was really looking forward to them. I thought they would be such a great partnership. I totally thought they were going to use them way more, and I genuinely thought that the bond was going to be stronger than it was. Like, they had like that one episode, and it was super cute, but that was about it.
I think, yeah, I was about to, you're thinking about the same episode I was thinking about when they
through the party
were through the party for the Rangers, and all the Rangers were mad at them, and I felt so bad for them because they were all so sad. That was so
sweet. And they're trying so hard to. They were just, I cried, okay? I genuinely cried. I felt so bad for them. Like, oh.
So they got me on their side with that episode, then they just didn't do anything else.
Well, like, see, I seen a few episodes of Go Busters, right? And in Go Busters, they're like best friends. Like, they're like that go-to.
That's what I expected.
Right.
So I thought it was gonna be like that with Beast Morphers, but then it wasn't, and I was kind of disappointed because
I guess off screen they had more moments that bonded them, and that's why it seemed like they were so close here. But they could have done more with that for sure.
Shoot, honestly, there was moments where I felt like they didn't even care about their Beast Bots anyway, because I'm like, the way they treated them. Oh my God.
Yep.
Like, oh my God. Zoe basically said, like, I don't need my Beast Bot. I was like, oh God. Like, it was just like, yo, like, they really underappreciated those Beast Bots. And I'm like, I would have loved to have seen, much more come from them and like see the actual relationship. And that's the same thing I have to say about Steel.
And like, I felt like with the especially that particular episode, I'm not sure if you guys got that vibe, but the way Zoe treated Jax, it was like he was her servant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did not like that vibe at all. Did not like it. Like, oh, did you charge my iPad? Oh my God, you're always messing things up. Did you do this? I'm like, do it yourself, Zoe.
Seriously. Like, and the gag was when he said that part, he was like, it's right here, right where I left it, right where you left it. And it was charging. And I was like, oh.
I was like, slap in the face, Zoe.
I literally, a tear formed in my eyes. I was like, oh my God. Like I felt so bad for him, and I'm
felt
just like,
so
Zoe,
bad.
you're an ass.
I feel so bad for him. So bad. I felt for him. Like, oh.
I'm like, oh, Zoe, you're such an asshole.
Or like when what's it called? I can't remember which one it was. It was like either Cruz or what was it? Mash, yeah, when they got sucked into the remember that villain that was like sucking their energy and it sucked all of them in? Was that I can't remember that episode.
Oh, are you talking about when not Smash, Cruz got captured?
Yeah, I was like, that was your fault, Devin. Why did you force him to do this? He
Exactly.
wanted to help, but the thing is, like Nate was right. Like he needed training and he didn't have it. And when,
it's like you just strap some guns on his arm and it's like, you going into battle. This bug ain't had no kind of battle training whatsoever.
Right? And then when they got attacked, what they should have done was told Cruz to take cover. But no, instead, you wanted him to fight and help you fight. And then he got captured. That was totally your fault. And I felt bad for Cruz, but I did not feel bad for him.
Facts. I agree 100%. I did not feel bad. I did not feel bad for Devin. I was like, that's what you deserve, you jerk.
Right? Or like that one episode. Oh yeah, sorry. It goes back to the other episode where he was like, Cruz, take the shortcut. And Cruz is like, well, no, you told me not to. Or was that what he said? I can't remember.
Exactly. But, like, it was just...
no.
Well, the thing was, Cruz was always like... Well, he did say that, though. When it came down to the Beast Bots and Steel, it just kind of always felt like they were... Even though Steel got a little more to do because obviously he was a Ranger, he still carried the... He still was such a great character. And all of them are great characters. And it's like, I would have loved to have seen them do a little more and have more story than what we got from them because they were so much fun. Like all of them were fun. And I mean, honestly, sometimes they were more fun than the actual Rangers themselves.
Yep.
Quiet as it's kept. Like they were actually a little more fun than them.
Real quick. Or that one episode of Steel when he was trying to tell them something was going on and they wouldn't listen to him. They thought he was all like crazy or whatever or paranoid.
Oh, that episode made me mad.
Oh, that irked the hell out of me.
Oh, I was pissed. I was like, listen to the boy. If he thinks something's wrong, something must be wrong.
Yeah,
like, that episode really irritated me.
You trust him to be a Ranger, but you don't trust anything he says.
Like,
yeah.
And I get it because like he didn't know how to explain a lot of things, and they kept trying to cover up, they kept trying to tell him that he was wrong. But I knew what he's trying to get out, and he just couldn't properly communicate what he's trying to say. Like there was just so much happening, and the moment he came up with a theory, they would shut him down. And it's like, well, give the boy a chance. He
right.
I mean, obviously, when he was half robot, half human, he didn't have that capacity to work as fast as our brain does. So I felt so bad. I'm like, just give him a second. Let him get it out. He's trying to do so much more.
Actually, be honest, I think he was more smarter than them. To be honest, I think he was smarter. Because
not that I'm saying he's not smarter, but I'm saying like I felt like when he was trying to work out what he was trying to communicate, there was a delay there.
I don't even think there was that. What I feel like it was just a mistrust of him because he's a robot.
Right.
I feel like that's really what it was. And because he was saying stuff like Bigfoot and all this stuff, and he was pulling up so many things, they were like, oh, he don't know what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. But the gag is, it's like that thing that he was saying that he saw, was like, it ended up further down the line. I don't even think they made that connection but it looked like Keeper.
Yeah. And
then Keeper ended up popping up, later on down the line. It's just like, yo, like actually listen to what he's saying. And then they found the footprint, and the footprint ended up being from a monster. So it's just like they really needed to like actually listen to Steel, and they just didn't.
Yeah.
And it's just like, come on now. I like, that was my main thing with just the Beast Bots in general. They just really didn't pay any attention to them. like at all. It was just anytime they were kind of like giving them a little like, hey, this is the thing or whatever. It was just kind of like, we're not going to listen to you. You don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, but they're just as important as you are. So at least kind of like listen to them like a little bit, like at least pay attention to them. But they just didn't. So whatever, child. Ugh, the foolishness. But Blaze and Roxy, child.
Question.
Tell me
Did
what
they
you think about
ever?
me.
Oh wow. Did they ever come into contact with their avatars?
The times that they did, Roxy was asleep. That was during the time when they were still comatose. And no, they never did. They
Yo,
never came in contact.
how? Like it's right there. Like how don't you do that? That doesn't make any sense.
It does not.
And then like I'm also thinking about like if they did a like a fight scene with the avatars versus the real Blaze and Roxy, or if we got to see the real Blaze and Roxy help out in a fight against the I forgot what the grunts are called this season, but
Tronics.
Tronics. Yeah, so like and then like I feel like we just didn't see Blaze and Roxy at all, like the real Blaze and Roxy in season 2.
No, we
Like
didn't.
what the hell was that about?
We didn't, because they were so focused on the robo versions of them, the avatars.
Avatars. That's freaking stupid.
Right? They were so focused on the avatars that they were just like, screw the real ones. We don't care about them.
And that would have been so fascinating to see them taking on their counterparts or interacting with them. They did do I really did appreciate the little fake out in the oh god, maybe like 2 episodes before the finale where Robo Blaze pretended to be real Blaze and he outsmarted the Rangers, and that was actually a really great plan. I really appreciated that, but like, damn, such missed opportunities.
Plenty of missed opportunities. I mean, honestly, what I would have really enjoyed, to be truthfully honest, then this would have given Blaze a lot more things to do, because Blaze was the worst offender. He had nothing to do for an entire season. Like literally, Blaze was one of the most underused characters in the show. Like human Blaze, one of the most underused. At least Roxy had Robbie, but Blaze had nothing.
Yeah, and they had established that that Blaze was a jerk. Like human Blaze was a jerk, and then the Blaze that we saw in season 2 wasn't anymore. Would have been great to see how he came to that realization that he was not the best person.
Right.
It would have been nice to see him build a relationship with Devon, just because like they were cool now after dude attacked him in the first episode. And now they're cool. So
like,
it's like, how did that come to be?
Exactly. Like dude literally came for his fro, like literally the first episode. And I'm like, bruh, now all of a sudden and we buddy and we cool? Absolutely not. Like I want to see a conversation. Like I want to know, like, did those two have like a square off and Devon won? And then it was like, you know what? You are the better fighter. You know what? Let me sit my behind down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to see something, like, or them have a conversation where they actually hash it out between the two. Something, but not just, you know what? Yeah. We're friends. And, you know, everything's all good. Like, nah, it's not. It's not. Don't even try to play us like that. You know what I'm saying? I would have loved to have seen that. And my thing is, what I would have definitely loved, and I was thinking about this too, I would have loved that Blaze could have became Sheriff Chaku for an episode.
Oh, wow.
That would have given Blaze something to do if he would have actually, like, say, for example, if they actually brought the character in, something happens to the character, and then he's like, you know what, I need someone to take on this power. And they're like, we know somebody who can help out. And then, they brought Blaze in, and Blaze be like, all right. And then Blaze do his thing. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, you know what I'm saying? Like, saves the day. Like, and then
You know
he's
what?
no longer used again.
You know what?
Would have loved that.
You saying that actually makes me think, like, what if Grid Battle Force would have been able to I guess modify the Avatar Morphers, the season 1 Avatar Morphers, and even I guess it wouldn't have worked all the time, but if they could have like a limited use Morpher, and maybe Blaze and Roxy could have transformed into those forms, the season 1 forms, to take on their counterparts.
That actually would have been dope. That would have been dope. I would have actually enjoyed that. I would have loved to have seen, Blaze and Roxy be used in some sort of capacity, but they just weren't. Like Roxy was literally reduced to the girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, Roxy was literally, human Roxy anyway. She was, she was just there. Whereas Roxy, the other Roxy, the real, the Avatar and the Robo Roxy, baby, she was doing all the things.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you slipped up and said that called her the real Roxy, Avatar Roxy, the real Roxy. What I kind of feel like she kind of was the real Roxy, because that was everybody's favorite.
Everybody loved her
these 2 seasons. And I think that like who was human Roxy? Like, who was she? We have no idea.
Nobody knows. We don't know. All we know is that she got a rich auntie who is Elsa. That's all we know.
Right. I forgot about that. That episode feels like it was 2 years ago, because it was wasn't that pre-quarantine, or was that during the quarantine?
No, that was during the quarantine.
Yeah, it feels ages ago. Jesus.
Everything feels ages ago. Don't forget, we released over 50 episodes this year, and it felt like
right.
Like
baby.
It does not feel that long.
It
doesn't feel like we did that much. It feels like we did a long time ago, but it doesn't feel like we've done that many. That's crazy.
Like, we did all that in 1 year. So yeah, it's pretty crazy what we can do. But yeah, it's weird how this year felt so much longer, but also felt so short at the exact same time.
Yeah, I feel like around maybe late summer is when things just started going by really, really fast. But everything else felt like 2 years.
Yeah, like it's just like here's my breakdown. Here's my thing, and because I just watched Liana's video today. I watched Liana's video.
I gotta watch that.
And this is why I feel like she's the GOAT. She's the GOAT of Beast Morphers. Listen, baby. Liana to me is the GOAT of Beast Morphers. Like, between her and Jackie, it's a toss-up. Like, Liana, when I tell you homegirl came to steal everybody's things, this came to dominate. She said, I am going to kill this role, and baby, if she did not try to slaughter, baby, I needed Liana to have all of her things. This show should have been about Liana. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, this should have been about her. She should have been the main villain at the very end that they fought. To be truthfully honest, she should not have been the first one to die. Absolutely not.
I was thinking maybe they did that because she was so dominant in the first season and Blaze was like the chump. And maybe they wanted to give Blaze something in season 2. Maybe that's
the thing. They did it twice. They did it twice in a row.
They did.
Literally. Like, they literally killed her off first, both times.
Oh, right. You know what? I don't actually, for season 1, I don't remember. I remember her dying, but I
You
don't
remember
remember
that epic death when Robbie shot her to death?
I remember. No. I remember that. I actually don't remember. I don't remember Blaze's death in season 1.
Oh, Blaze,
Wasn't he giant?
He was
Giant?
fighting in the robot, and him and Devin was squaring off in their robots, in their Zords, and Devin blew him up in the Zord.
Okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
All right.
So I mean, like I said, I need Liana to have all of her things. Like, she deserves all of her things. Roxy was the brains of the villains. Like, she was literally the brain of every single villain, of all of them. Like, yes, Scrazzle, he was there, but like, as far as the cunning and the brains of the group, it was all Roxy. It was all Roxy. And I just wish that we could have seen more, like not just more, but like I wish we could have seen more of human Roxy, because literally the avatars and the robos were supposed to be Blazing Roxy's dark personas, like their other dark side, if you will. So I would have loved to have seen more Roxy, where, you know, we could have seen more of her good side. Like, you know, who was she? What kind of girl was she? Like, you know, like, we know, okay, she was going to help out the fishes. We know this. Okay, cool. But what about her made her a candidate to be the Yellow Ranger for Grid Battle Force? What was that thing that made them go, let's pick her? What was the thing that made them say, let's pick Blaze? Because Blaze was a dick. So why would we pick him?
Why? Yes.
What made him a candidate?
That. And how, like, he's a martial artist and he is such an asshole.
He's an asshole.
And he gets chosen to lead the Power Rangers. And he's an asshole.
He gets chosen to lead, and he's a whole asshole. How is that possible? Like, these are questions that need to be answered. Like, these are questions that need to be answered, baby. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, there's so many things that just didn't make sense with the explanation of these characters. And I really kind of feel like I wish we could have gotten a little more explanation as to behind, like, what made these characters, you know, what made them be as special as they were, you know, to get chosen. And, you know, because they gave them all the character. Well, they gave Roxy all of her characterization, but Blaze just kind of seemed like, I'm just the bad guy who, you know, I'm jealous of, you know, of Roxy, and yeah, that's my only purpose. Like, that's really it. Like, that's really her only purpose. Well, not her, his only purpose. Like, I was just like, all right, but who are you, and why are you so significant? I mean, we got all the things for Roxy, but what about you? You know, so I would have loved to have seen more stuff about Blaze. You know, even his evil form. I would love to have seen more about him. What makes him so, you know, so evil? Other than he petty.
Yeah, it seems like he had those traits in him already.
Yeah, like it should have been the opposite, to be honest with you. He was already a dick, so his avatar should have been good. Quiet as it's kept, his avatar should have been good. Because he was already evil when we started the show.
Yeah, that is actually so true.
So what's the tea? But but yeah, so enough about them. Ben and Betty. Ciao.
Ben and Betty. I think I can't remember if I just said this before the show, or I think I said it before the show.
Said before.
Yeah, oh man, watching the first episode again, I really, it reminded me of the potential that I saw in them. And then also watching back these the last 3 episodes including the finale, when given something to do, when given the opportunity to show their smarts, when they're given the opportunity to show their bravery, they're so endearing and likable. But to have the slapstick and have the milkshakes or the goo poured all over them falling around, them literally being like hanging hanging off of this, I guess like a tube of gas or something and being flung around the Zord hanger. Like, that's not funny. That's not funny to me. And it when they just became the butt of jokes like that, I felt like that was a waste of time and that was a waste of their characters because they showed so many, well, not so many times, but when they got the opportunity to really help further the plot along, they did it.
Right.
And I really wanted to see more of that because they, like, I felt like they were definitely likable characters, but they wasted them by having them do the Bulk and Skull type shtick that is so 90s.
Well, not even just that. I feel like they take Ben and Betty way worse than they did with Bulk and Skull. Like, way worse.
Yeah.
Way worse.
It was like the Victor and Monty type stuff.
Yes. But I overall still really like them. I don't know why.
Because they're like they're adorable. And
They
they're so like, I think that the characters were really likable. Like I said, the heart that the two of those characters had, I saw it and I appreciated it. But it just was they didn't get enough of an opportunity to show what they had.
Right.
And I just I really hope that they get it out of their minds that you have to, I guess for Power Rangers, you have to have a slapstick comedy duo. Because like you can absolutely have somebody be there for comedy, but still have them be a real character and not have to have them have messes dumped on them and fall around and get hurt. Like, that's not necessary.
No, seriously. And like one of the things that really just irritated me about the Ben and Betty characters, unfortunately, it was just like they gave them the setup that they're extremely smart people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're extremely smart. Like, I mean, they literally created items to help the Rangers out. What was it? The magnet, what thingy or whatever thing that they created to shock the Tronic, even though it made their hair stand up. But you know, like, these are all weapons that they use to, you know, help the Rangers. And they ended up actually being a help to them in battle. My thing is, it's like, yo, it's okay to have comic relief characters. Make them useful.
They should have done it like they did with Ziggy, where Ziggy was useful, but he was hilarious. He was stupid. He was exactly what I feel like they're trying to portray, but without all of the extraness.
And Ziggy grew. He had a consistent growth throughout the season while still being funny.
Right. And they were just literally just slapstick the entire season. And it's like,
they were worth more than that.
They were worth more. And the sad part is that have them fail. It's okay to have them create something and be like, hey guys, you know, we got something that can help you fight in battle. We can help you. And it's like, oh yeah. And then they show them and it's like, yeah, that flopped. But it would have also been cool for them to be like, yo, we helped, help you create this thing. And it actually helps, it actually works in battle. Like, it actually saved the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, let them actually have wins. And I think I've talked about this before. Like, actually let the characters have wins. It's okay for bumbling characters to win every now and then. It's okay. But just to constantly have them fail constantly over and over and over and over and over and over, it gets worn out after a while. Hell, I'm sorry, I know everybody loves these two characters, but Bulk and Skull overran that. Like, they wore that out for me. It was like I was so sick and tired of seeing Bulk and Skull fall into some goo, or like get their pants
ripped
down,
or taken off.
Yeah,
ripped
like
off.
have them naked and only the boxers that got smiley faces on it. Like, I was so tired of seeing that, even as a kid. Like, I was just kind of like,
well, the thing with them is that they had 6 years to grow into something else. We only have
right. They did, but it was just kind of like
these guys have a just a season and
exactly
no growth.
And no growth whatsoever. They're just, but my thing is, I'm just glad they're not Vic and Monty. I'm glad they weren't them, because
they weren't farting. Wait, did they fart one time?
No. They had no fart jokes, which I was thankful for. I'm like, now see, Beast Morphers, you listened, y'all listened, and you heard us, and you said, you know what, we're going to fix this problem. Thank you very much for not giving them fart jokes. Thank you. We appreciate it, and we love you. I just hope and pray that this new season do not regress, and they go ahead and bring it back. But yeah, like, I just wish that they would have really that they could have done something more with them. I really do. I really wish they would have done a little more with these characters, and they just didn't. It's just sad the way they did it. And lastly, before we rank the show or give our overall thoughts on it, Commander Shaw, Miss Mamas.
Shaw. I wish we got to see more of her and more of her relationship with her son.
Yeah, we covered a lot of
I would have liked
Ravi, but yeah,
I would have loved to have seen her in some action sequences, similar to Mason F. and Truman in RPM, where he just started shooting the hell out of the grinders.
Right.
Well, we got to see a little bit of it, but we could have saw some more.
I mean, yeah, she she shot a monster, but it's just like we could have seen a little more.
Like, she could have piloted a Zord. We could have got at least one episode focused on her. They could have had a Dome Dolls situation where it was a female centric episode with just that focused on Zoe, Roxy, Robo Roxy, Betty, and Commander Shaw.
Would have been lovely. Would have loved that. Yeah, that did not happen. And the thing is, and there's plenty of things that they could have done with her, and I wish that she could have been more active. But the one thing that I really wish that they should have done with her is make her human.
Yes. That was my problem with her a lot of the time. There were
her human.
Yeah, there were moments where with her delivery, she actually seemed like a human.
Yeah.
There were a couple of times where I was like, okay, I think like in particular, it was early on. She was having a conversation with Devin about something, and she was like kind of like calming him down or something. She's just having a real talk with him, and I really appreciated that. But a lot of times she was just so hard, stiff, That did not sound right. As her character, her demeanor was and delivery was just so like stiff.
Yeah.
So it was in Cold even, where it was like, like she did what she was like supposed to do as with that role. I understood what she was going for, but to have seen some more humanity in it would have been great. And I love those moments. There were a few of them where we got to see that.
That's the part that killed me. It was just like, girl, like there were so many scenes that I just kind of felt like I would love if you were like super, just if you had some really real human moments. Even the moments that they did have, she felt so icy, so ice cold. Like when Ravi was, basically coming out to her, basically almost sounded like he wanted to tell her that he was gay, but was talking about his paintings. Like she literally was just like, yes, son, I understand. I understand your feelings. And I promise I'm going to be a lot more better at listening to you. And she like literally just like put her hand on his shoulder, like, yes, yes. It's just like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, I would have loved to actually just seen her just like sit down and like really just like look into him and just be like, you know what? I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Like really just really act at that point, like really actually be his mother instead of his commander. You know what I'm saying?
And like the couple of moments that she did get to like break that iciness, we got to see it. And then also even in the iciness at times, you could also see like she can act. But
absolutely.
I guess
the woman can definitely act.
Just yet another direction.
Thing. Yeah, it was all direction. Like they just are determined that they are not going to let these people act. They are determined they are not going to let these people act. But overall, what do y'all think? Like, is Beast Morphers a chop or is it a yes? Like, what is it? Like,
okay.
Yeah.
For me, it was 4.5.
Oh,
okay.
I overall liked the season, and I think what made it too was obviously following the cast in real life, and see their journey and kind of just be part of it. And there was a lot of good moments that we haven't gone a really long time. Like a really good Roxy, a really like good robots, like all the little things we touch on throughout this whole episode. We just got so much more, and of course, RPM is my ultimate favorite season. So if you're gonna start bringing people back, you already stole my heart. So that's just me. But the only thing I do wish is that they had given us an update. Like, where are these people? What are they doing? I don't even care. It's not even Power Rangers related. Like, I don't know. Like, what is Dr. K up to? Now that like are there still monsters coming your way? Do you guys still have the dome up? Like, what is the situation? Because we know that like at the end of it, Summer, Dylan, and his sister left to go find life and to build the world. But so did they build the world? Did they, is the dome still left for safety? Like, what is going on, right?
Right.
Then you got Truman coming in being like, I gotta go back to Corinth. Then you're like, well, or I caught this guy sneaking into Corinth. So it makes you wonder, like, whoa, so that means it's still there. But how much of it is there per se? Is it still an actual dome? Or is it just a city now? Like, what's up? I don't know. I felt like there should have been elaboration. And then the other thing that threw me off was his uniform. You're telling me that you guys haven't like designed new uniforms since y'all left?
No.
Dr. K got a whole new outfit.
No.
Oh my god.
Not at all.
Yeah, overall it was a really good season, and I really like how they try to utilize as much as they could this particular season. So it was great. I'm glad they gave us that full circle with the whole Vengex thing. That was a really good plot twist. Didn't that one coming. Because we all
No.
know they usually don't do that for us. So that was really good to bring that back and have like a full circle. And yeah, so overall for me, it was four and a half. I really genuinely liked it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well,
For for me, it's going to have to be lower than that. I think that the reason I feel this way is just because of the inconsistencies. You had an amazing opening episode, a great establishing episode, good acting, good action, getting us really excited about these characters, and then from then on out, there might be a couple of good episodes and fun episodes here and there. But like right now, to think back to like season one, I can't really think of any really memorable moments. Like that the episode where the Beast Bots uh threw the party for the Rangers was something that I remember because it made me really feel for the Beast Bots. But like other than that, like I can't even really think of much else that happened that season. Then in season two, there were oh my god, like the last three episodes were freaking awesome. Then the Dino Charge team up was awesome. But then like everything else, like it went from not very special, or I should say from piss poor to not very special. The big Dino team up with Jason's return, terrible. The episode where they did it was basically like a clip show in the middle of the team ups, where they brought back some of old the old villains, and they did the video footage where they did horrible dubs without the real voice actors. That was terrible. So it was like the good was kind of few and far between for me, and that was such a disappointment because there was so much potential there. And another thing, the lack of explanations, which is like that's a Power Rangers thing at this point. Not really explaining things that are going on or giving us updates on former characters. Something that they mentioned a lot was Ranger history class. We never once went in class with them for Ranger history class to see what they learned or why or how they know about Rangers, villains, allies, weaponry, Zords. We don't know anything about that. We didn't see that at all. And that was disappointing. So for me, for a score, 2.5 is harsh. So I'm gonna go with like a 3.
okay. Well, I mean, personally, I'm gonna give it 3, but not for any of those reasons. I feel like it was solid. Could it have been a little more, solidified? Yes. Could we have had better characters? Absolutely. Could we've gotten more characterization and more explanation? Definitely. But overall, did it tell a great story? Absolutely. Did it and a lot of people are just like, oh well, it's just piggybacking off of RPM. Fine, let it do that. That like to me, like you're piggybacking off of one of the best seasons in the series. So why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, and there are people who feel some type of way about RPM. To those people, that's your opinion. I heavily disagree, but that's your opinion. That's why opinions are opinions. But overall, you know, it was definitely it was definitely the story was told very well. It definitely hit a lot of major beats. I have to disagree with you at some points where you were like, there were no memorable points. There were plenty of memorable points for
Well,
me,
this is what I can't
especially
remember. Oh, I couldn't just couldn't
like,
remember
with
anything.
Devon and his Devon tricking Evox into letting go of his father. That was genius. Like, I mean, the way he did that
Damn,
was super smart.
I totally forgot about the Evox and Mayor Daniels thing. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
Wow.
like there were so many good things that they pulled off in this show, and I was like, "Yo, like yes, good job." So I have to kind of give them their props. Like I have to give credit where credit is due. They pulled off a lot of really good stuff in this season. So honestly, I have to give it a 3, but not for anything bad, but mainly because a lot of things that they did that were negative in my eyes was because of characterization and story. That was the major fault for me, was just like characterization though, like because characterization is what tells the story, so I would have loved to have seen that. But other than that, like I mean, it's a positive 3. If I were to say 3, I'd probably say 3.5. But that's the highest I'll go. But other than that, it was a great season. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And if anyone would be like, out of all the newer seasons, which one would you rather watch? I would say Beast Morphers, hands down.
Yep.
Like I would be like, yes, I want to watch that.
Don't make
I
me
would watch any of the other ones
ever again. Oh no.
And probably second to that would be Dino Charge.
Yep.
But for the most part, like, exactly. So yeah. So that's our little thing tonight. That's our review of Beast Morphers. Like I said, we pretty much we enjoyed it. Were there problems? Absolutely. But overall, it was a solid season, and we want to thank the cast for doing an amazing job.
Amazing.
And you guys, and I hope that they all have fantastic careers going forward, and everything is wonderful for them, and that they just rock the industry going forward.
They truly deserve it, all of them.
They do.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the work that they get. Some of them have already started. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Liana and her movie Starlight, and then we got Nate and Saved by the Bell.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours.
And everybody's pretty much doing their own thing. Like Rory has his own short film that he's doing. Jazz had a film that he was in, and so many of them are just doing excellent work. And I'm just so excited for them and their careers and to see where it goes. So, if you liked our review, let us know in the comment section. Let us know how you feel about it. And once again, my name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
I'm Will.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.